Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United 4, Chelsea 0. And what a devastating performance from Manchester United. Clinical, scary and a boost after what has been, let's be honest, a horrible last couple of weeks of the transfer window. For United to go and provide a performance like that for us, you can only spin a positive. And there are negatives, of course there are. But I think as we were talking about through that game, this is a work in progress. This is what we've got. We go with what we've got. The board have not provided what we needed in certain areas, which makes it all the more impressive when you go against a side like Chelsea and beat them 4-0 at Old Trafford. They're a rival. They're a rival. Where we're going to finish this season, whether it's going to be 3rd, 4th, 5th or 6th, I don't know. I think we're going to struggle for top 4 because I think the squad represents that. But today, we went up against the top 6 rival and we beat them 4-0. And there's loads of people out there saying, you're lucky. Oh, you're lucky. Drink your bitter cup of tea and squeeze your lemon in your eyes. You're bitter. You're bitter. Because every one of those goals for Manchester United was legit. It was a legitimate penalty. It was a legitimate finish by Martial. It was a fantastic goal by Rashford. And it was a fantastic goal by Daniel James. 4 times the ball legitimately went in the back of the net against Chelsea, and 0 times the ball went in the back of our net. You pay £80 million for Harry Maguire because he's a top-class centre-back. You pay £50 million for Wan-Bissaka because he's a top-class right-back. You have one of the world's best goalkeepers in goal to save chances. And unless it's really, really good finishers, you're not going to score your goals. So Manchester United won that game legitimately 4-0. Yeah, you know what? Chelsea passed the ball around a lot, and possession-wise, we'll look at that in a moment. But the point is, we deserved to win that game, and we did win that game. And I think the scary thing is that when you look at United, there's loads for us to improve on. When you look at Chelsea, can they do much better than that? You know, they had loads of the ball. They pressed us really well. They did their little triangles, their pass and move. Chelsea played really, really well and still got beat 4-0 by a United side where I saw loads of room for improvement in there. There were some really good bits, but we were sloppy in the play. You know, we got outpassed a little bit. We didn't track our runners at times, but we always looked pretty like we weren't desperate. We always looked like, you know, we had something more to do. And at 1-0, I said, I can just see this. Chelsea naivety, passing the ball about. I bet we'll go and get the second goal. United are clinical. You know, Chelsea will be there like going, we had loads of the ball, we had a few chances, and we've scored no goals. They've gone and scored 4 goals against us. That's scary for an opposition to think, you know, we can play well. We can play well as a team and get beat 4-0. United really, really clinical, and that's impressive. And lots to improve on. And as I said in the watch-along, would you rather be Chelsea and go, oh, I can't believe we've lost that, we played really well? Or would you rather be United? We've won 4-0 and we've got loads of gears to improve on. And that's what it's all about. Look, that midfield today didn't play particularly well at times and did get dominated by Chelsea. But we won 4-0 and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer 100% picks the right midfield. If he picks Matic, we play worse than that because he's slow and he can't move the ball quickly. McTominay, Pereira and Pogba. That's the way to go. And maybe Fred, but I don't think he rates Fred. He's got to keep picking that midfield. And yeah, there'll be moments in games like there were today where you're like, oh my God, our midfield is such a concern. But we knew that. We knew this is what we've got. And what he's got to do is just keep picking that midfield. Keep picking it. And game by game, with more confidence, they will get better and better and better and better. And all I can see out the corner of my eye is Harry Maguire. For me, I don't even need to think about man of the match. I'm going to do my player ratings in a couple of minutes' time. But who was your man of the match? Because my man of the match was Harry Maguire. Smash a like on the video if Harry Maguire was your man of the match. First time in a Manchester United shirt. First time at Old Trafford. And he was just immense. There was a few good performances, but he was brilliant. Won everything in the air. And what I like about Maguire is whether the ball's coming at him in the air or whether he's got his back to goal, whenever he's got the ball, he doesn't get flustered. He doesn't just boot it into the stands. He finds a player and he looks to find a player. And there were so many people in the watch-along live comments saying, I tell you what, I was wrong about Harry Maguire. I thought he was a bit of a donkey. He plays like a leader. He's intelligent on the ball. He likes to bring the ball out from the back and his ability in the air is fantastic. He is a brilliant player. I don't know whether he'll fulfill the £80 million price tag, but it's almost irrelevant because for us, he gives us something that we don't have, and that is that dominance in the air, that power. There was one time where he poleaxed the Chelsea player and we went on and we nearly scored. I'm really happy with him. He was my man of the match. I think to come into a game like that, and let's not play this down, Chelsea will be one of the toughest games we play this season. All right, they're not Liverpool, they're not Man City, and maybe Arsenal or Spurs will be better than them a little bit. But Chelsea are considered one of the big games of the season. Dropping Harry Maguire into that very first game, I thought he was absolutely fantastic. And smash a like on the video if he was your man of the match. There were other contenders. There were other contenders. The crowd are chanting for Jose. Comments, class act, says Sumal Roy. I've got no interest in Jose Mourinho. Look, got no interest in him. He failed at Manchester United. Just because he's been paid good money for Sky Sports to go and talk about United, he's an irrelevance to me. I don't care what he says, because you had your chance and you blew it. And we've got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now, and that's the man I want to be our manager. And I think Ole deserves a lot of credit as well. As I said, the selection surprised me, even though it was the right team. I didn't know whether he would go for that experience of Matic and Mata, because we've seen it so many years at United. There's always this obsession with going with the deadwood, and we said it back in May. If Ashley Young's in the team next season, you've got to ask questions about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You cannot ask questions about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer today, because he's gone and done what many of us would have done. He's not played Matic, he's not played Mata, and he's certainly not played Ashley Young, and he's reaped the benefits for it. And I'm very, 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 very pleased with it. Very pleased. United looked like a team today. Good to see, says Sam Masters. I think that's a cracking point from Sam, because when you look at United today, when the third goal went in for Rashford, they all got in a huddle and they were all talking at each other. And that, look, maybe we haven't got a leader on the pitch. Maybe we haven't got that. But if we've got a United team working for each other, I haven't seen that for a long time. I haven't seen a United team come together after a goal in a circle and be shouting at each other and going, come on, let's keep our heads, everything like that. Rashford was doing it, Lingard was doing it, McTominay was doing it. This unity that Ole will breed in that team. You were never going to go from what we did last season against Cardiff in the last few months of the season. And the pre-season, you knew we weren't going to do it. We were getting passed off the park by AC Milan and Spurs. It was never going to be turn up today and the perfect performance. It was never going to be that. We're a work in progress and we've got to work from it. But if we'd been on the end of a 4-0 result today, we'd be in trouble, because we'd be like, we didn't play particularly well on the ball and our confidence is going to go through the floor. To win and have the gears to go up, and we must have the gears to go up, because that's what progression is. That's what a rebuild is. And Ollie didn't get everything he needed in the summer, and that's from upstairs. That's not his fault. But it was never going to be today everything's perfect. It's today is a step. And 1-0, I would have took 1-0. I definitely would have took 2-0. I'm absolutely over the moon with 4-0, but it's a step forward. It's something to move on. And I for one, am really excited that we've got Wolves next week away, because that, again, it's one of the tougher games of the season. It's not the toughest. I mean, Liverpool away and City away is going to be the toughest, but the Wolves away, it's certainly in the top sort of 10-5. I'd say it's like one of the hardest games away this, because we were poor there last season. So, you know, for all those people who say United were lucky, or we got away with it today, or whatever, well, even if we did, which I don't think we did, we're going to Wolves next week. If we get beat next week by Wolves, everyone will go, oh, I told you so. But if we go to Wolves next week with some confidence and build on that performance and get a result there, you're suddenly like, whoa, beat Chelsea at home, beat Wolves away. We got something here. We've got something to work with. And that's what it's about. Look, we know Solskjaer didn't get everything he needed in this summer transfer window, but he's got to go with what he's got. And there were some real positives there. Also, I want to say about Marcus Rashford, class, absolutely class today. Again, I thought there was some silly flicks. I thought he was a bit wasteful, but I think him and Martial had a very similar game. Yeah, silly flicks, a bit wasteful, but what have they come? They've come out of that game with 3 goals, 2 for Rashford, 1 for Martial. I thought Martial worked tirelessly, and I thought Lingard worked tirelessly. And it's very easy to say, oh, they lost the ball here, there and everywhere, but they worked hard. And when you're trying to press a team, that's very important what you're doing off the ball. But going back to Marcus Rashford, the third goal was the best goal of the game. It was a really good play between... Well, it wasn't good play. It was just something we hadn't done all game. Simple passing between Wan-Bissaka, Lingard and Pogba. Head up. World-class ball. That's what Pogba's got in him. World-class ball. Rashford's running through. One-on-one. Lovely finish. And, you know, first goal, brilliant. Penalty. Put it away. Won the penalty. Put it away. No problem. 2 goals for Rashford. People are saying he can't score 20 goals this season. He's got 2 already. He's 10% of the way up there already. Another 9 braces and he's there. And he will do it. If he stays fit, Marcus Rashford will score 20 goals this season. And I think Martial will as well. He's got 1 today as well. And I don't think they played superbly well, but the chances were there and they scored the goals and they caused problems. And I'm very happy with that team. And let's do the player ratings. The team played well. So glad we didn't see Matic. Man of the match, definitely Maguire. When you come into Miami, marks as Daniel Jugo. Hopefully next year if United go to Miami. George Kyle, youngest ever Premier League starting 11 on this weekend. All debut boys were superb. De Gea looks back to form, which is vital. James' goal had me ecstatic. Yeah, there's so many positives to talk about. And the Daniel James goal, it's another tick, isn't it? Like another, his home Premier League debut, scores a goal. That's going to give a lad from the Championship so much confidence. Confidence takes you to another level. Confidence gives you consistency. Confidence can build a career and confidence can destroy it. I always think of Paddy McNair. He was a young player that we had in the Van Gaal era, and everyone said it was going to be great. And he had a game against Everton and he was superb. Then he played a couple of games and he was pulled off after half an hour by Van Gaal. Not like that. He was substituted. And we never really heard of him again. And I've never heard of him again. I don't know where he went. I think he went to Sunderland and I've never heard of him again. And confidence just went from him and his career disappeared. Confidence is so, so important. Player ratings then. I agree with what people are saying about David De Gea. Almost like the captaincy suits him. The responsibility of that. The focus, the concentration that De Gea didn't have last year. That's why he was making mistakes. Focus, concentration. The captaincy gives you that. So captaincy suits some people. For Rooney, it put the fire out inside of him and he lost something. For De Gea, only 1 game, but he looked focused. He looked concentrated. There was a lot of shots at De Gea today. And you think last season, maybe one of those shots, he takes his eye off the ball and he fumbles it. Not today. Everything he did was spot on. Definitely an 8 out of 10 from De Gea. And I'm so pleased the back 5 got the clean sheet because I think they're going to get plenty of those this season. But to get it in your first game against Chelsea, that to me was like a goal. To get a clean sheet, I mean, let's have a quick look at this. So De Gea got an 8 for me. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. But if you look at the stats, you can download the OneFootball app. The link's in the video description. Thanks for them sponsoring the watch along today. But really good app. You can get all your latest Manchester United transfer news, breaking news throughout the day, Monday to Friday, and Saturday and Sunday. But you can also get your stats on the games when it's up and running, your lineups. The link's in the video description for this. But you look at the possession. United actually brought that down because it was around 60 to 70% for most of the game, but it came down to 47% for United, 53% for Chelsea. Aerial duels won 63% for United to Chelsea's 37%. That's Harry Maguire for you. But the most important thing, 4 goals to United, no goals to Chelsea. But here you go. Chelsea had 18 shots to United's 11. Chelsea had 7 shots on target to United's 5. We scored 4 goals from our 5 shots on target and Chelsea scored none from their 7. So that shows you that De Gea was tested today and the team were tested. So 8 out of 10 for De Gea. Wan-Bissaka was a contender for man of the match for me. I would give Wan-Bissaka an 8 out of 10. I think at times he was doing 2 people's jobs. Like, to be honest with you, I did feel that United defensively we were a little bit let's get the yellow pen out. Emerson, oh no, it's not going to work now. What have I done? So Emerson at times just had the run of this. It's not going to work. Sod the yellow pen. Emerson, their left back, had the freedom of Old Trafford, and it reminded me a lot of the opening day last season where Ben Chilwell absolutely annihilated us down that left hand side, but we had Mata there. I think Pereira and Lingard were trying to play central so much that we didn't really deal with Emerson, and he hit the post in the first half. But Wan-Bissaka was doing 2 people's jobs, and he is titanium, isn't he? He's hard to get past, so 8 out of 10 for him. Lindelof, I think Lindelof almost deserves an 8 because he didn't do anything wrong. Maguire, I'd give him a 9 because he's got to be man of the match, so he's got to be better than everybody else. Smash a like on the video if you agree that Maguire was your man of the match. He won everything in the air, and he was just so comfortable on the ball and so physical. I said before the game I'm going to love Harry Maguire, and I really am going to love him. He's exactly the sort of player I like, and I just love that finally, when crosses are coming into our box and their box, we've got somebody who can win the ball, and you've got confidence. Not since the days of Vidic have we had that. Luke Shaw, I wouldn't give him an 8, I'd give him a 7. I think he was sloppy at times, but he was nowhere near as bad as some people want to say he was. You know, did they get down the right-hand side much? No. Not as much as they got down the left-hand side, and he didn't really get as much support as Wan-Bissaka either. So I thought Luke Shaw did well, but I'd give him a 7. Moving into the midfield, again, McTominay, I'd give him a 7. I'm not going to, let's not get stupid giving him an 8. I thought McTominay was a 7. 6 is average. He was definitely better than that, but the midfield at times was bypassed, and we shouldn't ignore that. But he was definitely better than an average. I thought he played good, so I'd give him a 7. Pogba, I've got to give Pogba an 8. He got 2 assists. And the second, there was times in the game where Pogba, like McTominay, was getting overrun, and they were a bit out of position, being pulled out of position, but he got 2 assists. Sean Finity says 4-0, clinical, dangerous. Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, immense, exactly. So yeah, I'd give Pogba an 8. The assist on the 3rd goal was brilliant, and then he put Daniel James in through for the 4th goal. Pereira, I'm tempted to give Pereira an average 6, but I'm going to give him a 7 because he got an assist for the Martial goal. He never stopped going. I didn't think at times he had a very good game at all, but we've just won 4-0. And the most important thing is that we play Pereira, Pogba and McTominay against Wolves. And we do that again. And we build the confidence. So I'm going to give him a 7. Lingard, I'm going to give him a 7 as well. I think at times a lot of people are like, he's absent, he's not in the game, and he wasn't. But he never stopped running, and he's very important. The energy he brings to press is very important. So I'd give him a 7. I'd give Martial a 7. I wouldn't quite give Martial an 8. I'd give Martial a 7. I think, again, a bit like Lingard, he was out of the game a lot, but he never stopped running, and he got his goal. And 7's not a bad score. 7 is not a bad score. 6 is average, so 7 is better than average. So I'll give Martial a 7. And I think you've got to give Rashford maybe a 9, maybe an 8. And he's not man of the match, Maguire is, but you've got to give him an 8 or a 9. I thought he got 2 goals. The 3rd goal he took well. The penalty was a pressure penalty, and he took that well. Yeah, there was some silly flicks. Yeah, there was some wastefulness, but the whole team was wasteful at times. Wan-Bissaka was wasteful at times. Pogba was wasteful at times. But the only 2 people who were never wasteful were Lindelof and Maguire. So 8 or 9 for Rashford. I wouldn't argue with that. Daniel James, cameo off the bench and gets a goal. You got to give him an 8, 7 or an 8. Maybe a 7's more likely, but we run away with ourselves. But look, we can sit there with a smile on our face and watch Match of the Day 2 tonight and be very, very happy with it. Very happy with it. Mark, Buddy watching James' interview. He was told to go and enjoy himself by Ollie. This is Fergie's legacy coming through. Is it too much to say we have seen something today, says David Mills. It's way too early to say we've seen something today. United fans, we've had false dawns before. I remember under Jose Mourinho, we won didn't we win the first however many games? We definitely got into September and we won every game, and it started to go wrong in October and November. And also what we've also got to say is we're not going to be hypocrites. We're not going to be Arsenal fans. We're not going to be flip-flops and start talking about winning the league or getting in the top 4. Well, you can do if you want. Actually, I'm talking for you here. But what I'm going to say is I still don't trust these players. I still think that, they played well for Ollie for 3 months and then they played bad for 3 months. They've got to do this week in, week out until Christmas, New Year. They've got to give us 6 months of this. Every team's going to have a bad patch in the season, but we can't have a 50-50 good season and bad season. We've got to do this week in, week out. I think what this is a massive step forward. It gives us something to build on. It gives us some confidence. Chelsea did play us off the park at times, but we won 4-0. That's legitimate. Legitimate goals, a legitimate win. But I'm not going to run away with it. I'm not going to say that I'm not massively concerned if we get a couple of bad injuries to good players. I'm not going to say I'm not massively concerned about that midfield, because I still am. And I'm not going to say that, we're going to go and have an amazing season because it's one game. But we won very, very well today, and everybody should be very, very happy with it. And, you can't take away from the fact that defensively we looked really good. We were very clinical in front of goal, and if you can keep those things, it's going to be brilliant. Jan Banjovi says, I'm on cloud 9 today. Great result. I can't wait for the fan cams to come in, actually. Flex is at the game. Rance is at the game. We've got Adam and everybody else back, and we'll be interviewing people. I'm sure there'll be people singing Ollie's at the wheel, and I'm sure there'll be a bounce back at Old Trafford. David Mills, Mark, 4-0 clinical. They played for each other, the fans and Ollie, says Chris Lane. And old Brownie says, United and Fulham won. I'm over the moon, Mark. Thanks, pal. Daniel Dewar says, De Gea looking sharp again. A massive positive. George Kyle, we read that one. We put 4 past your Kepa, says Mike 001HD. Yeah, 4 past the Kepa. And that's Kepa because he's Spanish. No, I'm not saying keeper. Charlie Roll, Pogba was the worst player on our team today. Totally disagree. He got 2 assists. Daniel Zhuga, and he never stopped running. Daniel Zhuga, the team played well. So glad we didn't see Matic. Exactly. United looked like a team today. Good to see, says Sam Masters. Mike 01HD, we put 4 past your Kepa. Crowd chanting for Jose. What did you make of Lindelof's little spin? Class, says Dan O'Keefe. I know what you're doing there. Yeah, I'm very, very happy with Manchester United today. I thought it was absolutely perfect. It's a perfect result. Was it a perfect performance? Yeah, probably not, but do we care? It's a 90-minute game. It's a 4-0 game. We move on. You know, whatever was negative in that game, you solve it for the next game and you work on it. You work on it in training. Yeah, some of the passing was sloppy. Yeah, for periods of the game we weren't in it, but we won the game 4-0. We got 3 points. We've got 4+ goal difference, which is brilliant. It's like a bonus point. So yeah, Ollie will work on the negatives, but we won the game. Jack Hyde, thanks for the contribution. Lindelof, superb. So confident with Maguire there, says Russell Thompson. Yeah, finally, it looks like we might have a centre-back partnership we can work with. David Mills, thanks for the contribution. Seanan Shi, he says, I love how Harry ran straight to the huddle straight after the first goal and started talking team. Great player and a leader, just what we need. Get in, United. Stephen DeLang says, a few of Chelsea's shots were routine saves for De Gea. Our defence started getting better from the last third of the match, and it can only improve as the new lads get used to playing in the team. And that's what it is. It's all confidence. Confidence is what you take from a game like that. Chelsea and us came into that game very similar. Lampard and Solskjaer, former legends of the club, young inexperienced managers, dream jobs. Transfer ban for Chelsea. Almost transfer ban for United because we weren't allowed to buy any midfielders or attackers. Not having to rely on youth, definitely, because the squads aren't big enough. Very, very, very similar. And for the first half, I was like, bloody hell. Tactically, Lampard's bossed Ollie in that first half, but we got the penalty and we're 1-0 up. Second half, it was going the same way, but then the clinical and we built our way into the game. So, Chelsea, to be honest with you, I don't want to be empathetic, but you played really well, but you were pathetic to lose 4-0. But you played really well. But the confidence is going to be on the ground. Doesn't matter that they played well. Your confidence is on the ground. United, yeah, at times we didn't play well, but we were brilliantly clinical, and defensively we were very good. So confidence is going to go through the roof. And the Wolves game is perfect for us because that's a tough game, and there won't be anywhere to hide in that. So if people want to believe we were lucky, or if people want to believe we got away with it, well, we're not going to get away with it at Wolves. And I don't think I think we'll be fine at Wolves. I don't want to give a score prediction yet because you've got to have a longer think about it. But I think, we've got something to build on, and that's all we want. That's all we want. Thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. Get your notifications on because the fan cams are going to be coming in very, very soon. Really interested to see the reaction out there outside Old Trafford. We've got Rants, Flex, Adam and the rest. Really looking forward to seeing it. Thanks everyone for watching today. The watch along was fantastic. Drawty's graphics were amazing. And make sure you download the OneFootball app actually. I must just say that. The link's in the video description. It only takes a few seconds to download it. Get all your United stats, man of the match, shots on target, where players were, heat maps, all of that. Links in the video description. Give it a download. And you can get all your latest United news during the week. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you all soon.